Hello everybody, my name is Vendetta. Welcome back to another video. Today I want to talk about something that a few weeks ago I made a video about, and this video is basically continuing that. We're going to talk about that same topic again. If you don't know what I'm talking about, a few weeks ago I made a video about how I think TDX might actually be done for. In that video, I talked about how it was going to be a long time before we got any kind of updates. With like Nightmare coming, it was going to be a very long time, and I suggested that with the game already suffering low player count, it did not need to wait another month before a big update. But with just one singular announcement from John Roblox himself, everything has flipped. The tables have turned. So before we get right into this, if you do enjoy this, please consider leaving a like, subscribing, or commenting. It really helps the channel, and I do read all of your comments as well. But anyways, let's just jump right in, shall we? So earlier today, John made an announcement over on the official TDX Discord server. And here it is here. We were doing this alongside Nightmare, so that explains the longer due date for it. And here it says, Operation Slime is a go. We're excited to participate in our first Roblox event, the Takeover. So, obviously this is really big news for TDX, but I'm going to break down exactly what this means for the game and why this is such big news. So, first of all, let's start off with what exactly John is talking about. So, he says, we're excited to participate in our first Roblox event, the Takeover. Well, first of all, let's look at the Takeover part. The Takeover is a Roblox event that is starting in about a week's time from now. It should be starting on September 12th. The Takeover is an event that's going to be hosted by Roblox, and if you're not familiar with Roblox events, how they work is they select a few games across Roblox, and the player's goal is to go into each of those games that are part of the event and complete some kind of task in order to complete the event and get some special item for their avatar or something like that. It's just a fun thing for the community to get together and do. Now, something like this does mean very good news for TDX, because if there's going to be an event that brings attention to TDX, this means that TDX's player base should actually go up quite significantly. This is very, very good news, again, as I said, because this is going to get lots of brand new players into the game, and hopefully some of them actually stick around. But not only that, this also relates to Nightmare mode and how I don't think it's completely over for the game. Now, although TDX has hit a all-time low of about 500 players this afternoon, I do not think the game is completely over now. I think the game is actually going to be just fine. Now, the reason I say the game is not completely done in terms of player count is not only because of this event bringing in new players and potentially having some stay, it also explains this line up here. We were doing this alongside Nightmare, so that explains the longer due date for it. At first that might not sound significant, but when you think about it, if this event is big, and Nightmare is, well, definitely going to be the biggest update yet, this is going to be huge news. We're basically going to get two massive updates within the span of a month. It depends how big they go with the Takeover event, and it really depends on if they're going to add new towers, if they're going to add like new maps and stuff, a new crate. It depends on how big it's going to be, but overall, still, we're getting Nightmare with this event. This is a lot of work, and ultimately what I'm trying to point out here is that they've been working on both of these at the same time. This means that they were not developing Nightmare at the full speed, which might sound bad, but if you think about it, this is good for future updates, as if Nightmare took an entire month for the biggest update in the game, well, guess what? When Tower Battles 2 rolls around or Halloween comes around, we are going to get some big updates quick. Like I said, it depends on if this Takeover event is big or not, but if it is, this means that the development team is much faster than we thought, and we are going to get plenty of big updates for the rest of this year. So the reason I brought that all up is because I do think that with these updates, when these updates finally come out and TDX's player count goes back up, I think that the game will be able to hold and keep that high player count for itself, and will be able to keep that number up high, and potentially, after all of this waiting is over for Nightmare, potentially the player count can go up astronomically. Usually TDX usually sits around 1k or 2k, but maybe, just maybe, it could hover up to 5k, 8k, 10k. It really depends on how the updates go. But now let's actually talk about the TDX part of the takeover event itself. So the line Operation Slime is a go, and this image that we got here, which is probably the thumbnail for the update, tells us a lot. If I had to guess, this update is actually going to be very similar to that of the MLG update we had in April 2025. The reason I say this is because it feels more like a smaller event in my mind, and in all honesty, I think this will only have just one game mode. It'll have a normal and a nightmare variant, and it will have picked loadouts for normal. If I had to bet, this event for the Roblox side of things would be that people just have to play TDX and beat the normal mode just once or twice or maybe 3 times or something like that. Depends how easy or hard they make it. But yeah, this event will definitely be beginner friendly while still being significant to players that stick to the game, and I think that this is actually going to include a new tower. Now, I'm not 100% confirmed on this, so don't take my word to it, but do think about it. Do keep it in the back of your mind. There may be a new tower with this event, and that tower is the Goo Gunner. Now, I literally know nothing about this guy. We have zero confirmation on what he does at all, but John did mention him once in one of the Discord messages, one singular time, so it's possible he exists. It's possible John was joking. We really don't know, but Goo Gunner may be a tower that you get for beating this event, much like Troll from MLG. But like I said, I don't know anything about Goo Gunner. I don't know if he exists or not. I don't know if it's a joke that John was making, but Goo Gunner may happen, and it may just be a tower that you get from beating this event. If I had to make a guess on how good I think the Goo Gunner would be, it's probably not amazing, but it's probably better than Troll Tower. He probably has some unique mechanic, and if I had to guess, he does toxic damage, kind of like Toxicnator. But about the actual in-game event itself, there will definitely be some unique enemies, maybe a unique boss, much like MLG, as I said. But overall, it will be a pretty small update in terms of just gameplay-wise. It will be just that one mode, normal and nightmare, and maybe that new tower. It depends on how big they go with that update, like I said, so maybe there will be a new crate, maybe there'll be some new maps or skins. It really depends. But anyways, overall with the whole Goo event, the whole takeover thing, I think that this is going to be a very, very good thing for TDX. As I mentioned before, it's going to be good for the players who have been playing, like myself, and it's going to be good for new players, right? It's going to be something that drags new players into the game, makes them interested, and makes them want to play more. And I'm sure with Nightmare Update right around the corner, everybody's going to want to stay, everybody's going to want to play. It's going to be really, really good, I can tell. But yeah, this is a shorter video today. Let me know what you guys think about this. I think that TDX is actually going to do really, really well after this takeover event starts. And I think overall the game is just going to do so much better after this drought of no updates. I guess it is worth mentioning that on September 31st, we did have that new XWM skin with the return of the summer crate, as well as that new barbecue grill emote. It's a nice small update, and I guess it makes sense why it was so much smaller than expected, because they've been working on this takeover event along with the Nightmare update itself. I think the game's going to do very well after this, but yeah, like I said, let me know what you think down in the comments below. I honestly think the game is going to be revived after this. It's completely changed my perspective. I thought the game was so done about 2 weeks ago, but now if you ask me, yeah, I think the game is going to be completely fine. When it comes time for Halloween, when it comes time for Tower Battles Part 2, when it comes time for Christmas, all those updates shouldn't take very long. Now that I've noticed that only part of the team is working on Nightmare, that part alone tells me that these updates will be easy for them to make, and they're going to come out quick. But that's going to be all thank you all so much for watching. There is a new video tomorrow that I did promise was going to come out today, but I figured I just wanted to push this one out today because of that announcement. So yeah, sorry about the delay, but it will be out tomorrow. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching. This has been Vendetta, and we will see you all next time. Bye-bye!